Stuart Henry, talking about Whitesnake. That's my friend John Lord and myself. And a bit about details of our plans for the future. Hope you can join us.
No matter where you run to, let the music of Whitesnake hit you between the ears. This Thursday at midnight on Sound System.
These agencies around the world.
Sound System, I'm delighted to say that Mr. David Coverdale is sitting right opposite me. Hiya, Dave.
Hello, Stuart.
You've got this new band, Whitesnake, together at long last because you made 2 solo albums, but you also called Whitesnake. Why did you keep the same sort of Coverdale?
Basically, it's a nice name, but it also sums up the kind of music we play, which is sexual or emotional, physical music, and we're all white.
Good that, right? Yeah. Listen, you split from Purple, like, 2 years ago. Why is it taking you so long to get a band together?
There's a lot of problems with contracts, politics. Basically, those things are just more or less being sorted out, so I needed getting the band together.
This morning in Sound System, I'm talking to David Coverdale, former member of Deep Purple, who is also just taken into his band, Whitesnake. Another former colleague from the Purple days, Mr. John Lord. Hi, John.
Good evening, Stuart.
Listen, I've got to ask, why did you two musicians who spent 3 years together in Deep Purple decide you wanted to continue working together?
I think there was a bond formed when David joined Purple between us anyway, which was extended beyond just music. We became good friends. We found we had similar musical tastes, and even in the Purple days, we used to talk about, when it's over, what was the possibility that we might form a band together. It had been talked about. But when Purple broke up, as David explained, political mayhem, everyone wanted a piece of the pie, and in the end the pie turned out not to be big enough, and not even very tasty sometimes. So I sort of went off and started doing something for myself, and David went into the wilderness for longer than 40 years on it, indeed. And just eventually it seemed to me that the only sane choice I could make was to join Whitesnake. I was looking for something to do. I needed to do something. I was fed up with sitting looking at the wall. But actually, it also wasn't just the only thing, because we've been offered a gig with Blackmore's Raincoat. Blackmore's Raincoat. Ricky offered me the job. But I figured that 8 years with Ricky was enough. God bless him. And anyway, David had asked me before, and we came to a meeting one day in a bar. It was always a good place for a meeting. And I thought, I'm up for it. And so, the other keyboard player there. And I came. I'm very glad to be here, I tell you. Lovely. We were both really very excited for the future, which is very good, because we got into a situation where it was a very bland feeling at Purple. It was like release an album or a successful album or whatever. Now we have something to prove again, which is great. To fight again.
I think you'll agree that the music of Whitesnake ain't bland at all. I think I'm real. Whitesnake from their new album, Trouble.
It's the Stuart Henry Sound System. I'm delighted to say I've got David Coverdale talking about his new band Whitesnake, together with keyboard member John Lord. Listen, you wouldn't be insulted if I described you as 2 rock survivors.
No, I think I'd be highly delighted if you... That's a good way of putting it, yeah. It's better than being highly Selassie.
So, can I also then ask you, are you looking in with the band to do things and write that you actually get a buzz from? Or are you trying to get the winning formula that is going to sell records?
No, we'd like to combine both, obviously. I think the whole feeling is that we've just done a British tour, which was very, very successful. Artistically, probably the most successful tour that I personally have been involved in. And I think that, actually, I believe the future is assured if we keep going on as we are. It's just that we have a lot of territories to get across. It's really starting again. And if we make successful, or if we become successful, then that proves to me, this is the very important reason, is that you're touching people, which is, to me, again, the reason for making music.
The band Whitesnake you actually formed 6 months ago, David. How did you get the component members together?
Well, Mickey Moody, one of the guitarists, the gentleman with the hat, alias Belgian Tom, I've known him since we were kids up in the north of England, and he did the solo albums of Johnny Marsden, a pinch from Pace Ashen Lord, before Christmas. The drummer is Dave Dow. He's from a fine English rock outfit called the Streetwalkers, and called Neil Murray. So the pedigrees are really fine.
And all the songs were either written by you or you with members of the band. How do you actually get together to make a song happen?
It's a feeling. A lot of it comes out. This is what was disappointing for me with doing solo albums, is that there's no jam sessions or anything, where a lot of the basic ideas or structures for a rock song come out, or the excitement of a tour, in concert. But in the living room, it doesn't work. But of course, when we were having jam sessions, a lot of ideas. Rock is very guitar orientated, so of course, in jam sessions, there's riff raff going left, right, and centre, and sometimes the songs come from a feeling, or an observation, or a physical, emotional experience, and the words come out.
Let's take a song from Whitesnake's new album, Trouble, the David Coverdale wrote with Mr. Marden and Mr. Moody. It's called The Time Is Right for Love. Sure hope you find the time right to accept music of Whitesnake. Considering this is really the band's first album, the debut album is a more than fair little bit of plastic vinyl, baby. From David Coverdale and John Lord from Whitesnake are sitting in on the show. Do you think it's true that there seems to be a regrowth of interest in what you might call heavy metal, for want of a better cliche?
Yeah, if I can just argue with the label slightly, I've never particularly liked metal. The days that metal has but certainly if you like to call it rock and roll or heavy rock, whatever, the tours just in Britain proved to us that it's never gone away. It might have gone underground slightly for a while as a result of the new wave, or ignored by the media for a while. It certainly got ignored by the music press. But the feeling for it from the people we played to was magnificent. Unbelievable. Really high energy feeling back from the audience, which you can feel what it's all about. I think that's what you must thank the new wave for. It's injected enthusiasm back into the business. And identity. And identity, sure. On both sides, the audience side and on the musician side. And if there are any other rock survivors listening in, it's still there. It's absolutely still there, definitely.
You would agree with John, David, that you take exception to Whitesnake being classified as heavy metal?
Oh, 100%, yeah. There's too much soul, or too much heart put into it to be related to anything metal,
Let's take that nice, soulful little love song, Lie Down, I Think I Love You. How did that come to be created?
That's just a dirty love song, isn't it? It's a phrase that people have been using for years, Hello, darling, lie down. I think I love you. You know what I mean? Just another line, really. And I put it into a song. The song's an observation about a posh party I went to in a flash part of London. And with people dripping with jewellery and stuff. And I was dripping in jeans. It's just an observation, really. With music of Whitesnake.
Snake right there. Thanks, David. Lie down, I think I love you. Here, another track from the boys and some more talk in about 5 minutes' time. Listening to some tracks from the new album, the first one from White Snake, David Coverdale's band. The album is called Trouble. David, where do you see the band going? I mean, I know they've only been together 6 months, but what would you like to happen to the band?
Well, obviously, I'd like to have success, because like I said before, if you have the kind of success that we had, for instance, with Purple or whatever, that proves that you're catching people. The money's a fortunate incidental in that case.
So in order to achieve that success, are you trying to create a hit single, or are you happy to be regarded as an album band?
I don't know. I would like very much now to have a single, because that seems nowadays to be the immediate key to an album. And I'd like as many people as possible to hear the music we have to offer on albums and in concert. But it's impossible for us as musicians to sit down and construct a hit single. Hopefully, what we do is record music and leave it up to the management of the record company to say, that could be a single.
But John, do you agree that that's the way to get a hit single, just by lifting a track off an album?
It seems to me that it's often the only way with a band of this type. I believe that if we were to go into the studio and say, right, let's create a 3.5-minute piece of music that's going to be tailored as a hit, an attempt to get a hit, I believe you might compromise the music. And the one thing we don't want to do is have a hit single where people would say, oh, that must be Whitesnake then. And then when they find it on the album, it's not. If we have a hit single, we'd love it to be one that is the kind of music that we actually do play, and not tailor-made purely to get into the charts. It smacks a little bit of prostitution, if you like.
Yeah, I can dig that. This new album, Trouble, are you actually happy, David, with how it sounds?
Yeah, there's it's like a new band, as I say. I think it's a very good, very, very fine debut album for a new band. I look forward to doing the next album with John, because his identity and his sound will certainly be more imprinted on that.
Because in this album, he only sort of came in after the music had been laid down, and put the keyboards down.
It was far easier. It almost felt like I was actually playing with the band. And indeed, the 2 solos that I do on the album, both were done in one take, both of which are, in my opinion, among the best solos I've done. And the feeling was really high. It was a very pleasurable experience. But obviously I'd far rather do it with the band.
Listen, I want to say what a pleasurable experience it's been to have the two of you out here in Luxembourg.
It was lovely being had.
David Coverdale, John Lord, good fortune with the band. Look forward to hearing the next album. Let's go out tonight with another track from White Snake's first album, Trouble, that's just come out, called Love to Keep You Warm. Thanks so much for coming out here. Goodbye.
God bless you.
Tonight on Sound System, in company with David Coverdale and John Lord. And I must say, it was the most pleasurable experience seeing John again and meeting David for the first time. And I wish them all fortune. Got a great album called Trouble, White Snake. And I guess, well, the trouble is that it's nearly all over.
79, White Snake got into the studio and laid this down.